Howdy y'all, it's Rain. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm back with another pick a card video. So today we're going to be doing a reading that is kind of dissecting your opportunities, different money making like channels and pathways that you have going on for you right now. And I feel like a lot of us are either shifting the way that we're like dealing with our relationship with money, dealing with our route of like making and bringing in abundance in our lives, and how we're seeing like communities come together to support each other's abundance. So in honor of that, and in light of all the recent like retrogrades and changes that are happening in our world, I'd really like to help you understand a little bit more what energy is surrounding you in terms of your abundance and your career. So I have the 3 piles here that we channeled, and I started out with the meditation this time so that you could bring yourself to a like more comfortable position within yourself before you even see the piles and select them, because I know that other people who include meditations in their readings at the beginning, I feel that I still am drawn to a pile at first, and then once I connect in with myself, I'll be drawn to a different one, but sometimes I'm kind of thrown off because of that. So I wanted you to be able to see me select the piles and meditate during that. So I'm going to give you a close-up actually of these piles and the crystals that I have on them before we head into dissecting each situation. So otherwise I will see you in your pile, and I thank you so much for being here with me today. Okay, so here are the piles. Pile 1 has this smoky quartz, pile 2 has this little turquoise stone, and then pile 3 has, I believe it's gold obsidian. Once you are centered and you feel one calling to you, you can make the selection, and as usual, and for your convenience, there will be the timestamps in the description box. So make sure to check that out, and I will see you in your pile. Howdy pile 1. If you selected pile 1, this is going to be your abundance, career reading, all of that. So we're going to look at where your life path is, and specifically if this ties into like your life purpose, how that is all working together, because lots of energies in our lives I feel end up connecting and intersecting a lot more than we believe. Like for some people, their relationships really intersect their career life, and for others it's more of like their family life will also be entangled into their career life. So it really depends, and I don't think that any specific part of your life is mutually exclusive to the others. So I wanted to do a little like energy cleansing specifically for each of the piles. So I have this rosemary cleansing bundle that I made myself, and rosemary, contrary to sage, it kind of works in the same way. So it does like push out any energy that is in the surrounding space, but rosemary I feel is more connected to the heart chakra, connected to our concept of love. So I do think that this is going to just bring in that loving energy that we desire, and just cleanse the space. So we're gonna make a safe space for our guides, ancestors, angels, anyone that is for our highest alignment and for our ultimate truth and compassion and wisdom to come through and enter the space. So I'm going to put this out now. Okay, now that we have that out and we have that set to the side, I want to get into the pile, and I only selected 2 cards. I don't know if you noticed, if you were watching, or if you decided to shut your eyes during the meditation part or even skip it. Any of those is fine, but I did light this incense and I cleansed the deck heading into this. And so you chose the smoky quartz if you chose pile 1. And smoky quartz I believe is more of a protective stone, but different than like black tourmaline or one of those other like more dense stones. I do believe that that like dark color kind of gives it a density to it. Excuse me, we're coming out of Mercury retrograde, so my words are a little choppy and out there, but the smoky quartz is also bringing in the element of quartz, which is that clear, focused, driven mindset. So I feel like you may be feeling that there is you've got like some crystallized ideas. You've got some ideas that are set in stone. You know you want to pursue them, but they're just kind of clouded in a way. There's something that is blocking them. There's something that may be shadowing those dreams and those aspirations. So I want to dive into that with these cards, and I do have my decks over here, so I'm going to pull some more cards. I'm not just going to leave it at 2. But okay, both of these, actually one of them is reversed, but you got 2 aces. So I want to show them to you first before I explain anything. But we have the Ace of Swords, or the Ace of Arrows, which says the spark of life, I believe. Oh, the breath of life, excuse me. And then Ace of Stones, or Ace of Pentacles, which says the foundation of life. But the Ace of Pentacles is in reverse. So there's some kind of project that I view the Ace of Pentacles usually as like planting a seed, as seeing the like beginning of a project, especially since it has the foundation of life. And I do think that this is something that you want to make a full-time career. You want to make it something that you can pursue a long time. I feel there is going to be a split between this group. So some of you are going to be older and you're already working some kind of 9-to-5 desk job, and the others of you are younger and you aren't quite at that point in life where you have decided to pursue a career full-time. I do feel like all of you, or most of you though, have a job that you already are kind of drudging through. There's something that is preventing you from feeling like you can fully invest a lot of time into this project, because the Ace of Pentacles, specifically in this deck, it has, I'm looking at it upright, but I am paying attention to the fact that it's in reverse, and I feel like the reversal of this card is signifying that you haven't gotten to work on it yet. So, but do you see how there are the trees in the background that are kind of tangly, they're brambled, it's not quite clear, and I do think that there is somewhat of like, it's almost like you haven't taken the time to slow down, because I am feeling like this out of breath energy, like tightness in my chest. I feel like it's something that's pulling on your heartstrings a lot too. It's something that you really love to do. It's something that you really want to get done. For some of you, I'm hearing beading. It's some kind of like crafty project for a lot of you, but others of you, it is starting up your own business. It is kind of, that's where the overwhelmingness comes from. It's like trying to figure out all the bits and pieces, like paying rent, you know, investing in other people to maybe help you. You don't really know how to network possibly. So there are just a lot of little bits and pieces that are really difficult for you to integrate to get this started. And I think that that is causing some tension, some frustration, some fear. And so it's, at this point, it's just kind of stagnating, and it's nothing more than an idea. With the Ace of Swords, or the Ace of Arrows, the breath of life, I do feel like this is something, this is signifying that you have possibly started to have conversations with people about this. Other people could have been giving you encouragement. I am thinking that you're like kind of sprinkling this idea into different conversations that you have with people, different like social circles and stuff, and a lot of people are like, yes, I see you doing this, this is going to be really great for you. And so it's not the confidence that you're lacking. It is really the, I have a feeling it is the earth energy. It is specifically, that's why it is in reverse. It is that earthy, get it done kind of energy that is really difficult for you to navigate and deal with right now. So I want to pull another tarot card for you, and I think we're going to shuffle on camera and just kind of talk through the questions that we're asking. So, your guides of ultimate wisdom, higher alignment, truth, and compassion that are helping along this career journey with this startup idea, helping give us the confidence, connecting us to our solar plexus chakra. How would you like to communicate with us? Okay, and this is going to be the last shuffle. Okay, let's spread this out and let's pull some cards. So, what's blocking pile 1 from doing this? Okay, and I feel like that one needs to be upright. What can they look forward to once they take even one step in this direction? Okay, so for that last question that I asked about what's blocking you, you got the 5 of Cups, which says ecstasy. I feel like this may be investing energy in other places, things that you're holding on to, concepts, ideas, relationships for some of you that are just kind of holding you back, holding you down. I do believe you already acknowledge this. This is kind of not news to you, that there are certain things that are kind of draining your energy, that are taking away from the energy that you could be putting into that. It's like maybe old routines, I'm getting the idea that like maybe some of you are, it's almost a little bit of laziness. So I'm feeling like you already know, okay, I'm investing too much time into like talking on the phone with my friends, for example, or going and doing like everyday things that aren't helping me with this journey, like going to the grocery store when you could just send somebody that you live with to do that kind of thing so that you can invest some time. It's not taking enough alone time, because if you notice, this person also, I feel, is doing some kind of like spiritual connection ritual. So it may be that you're not like reaching out to your spirit guides enough to ask them for their support and for them to be able to communicate that they have that support with you. I do feel like your spiritual connection in terms of this project is really going to help you move forward. When you make that connection with your guidance, they're going to have other pieces be put into place, and your faith in them is going to help facilitate that to happen. With the question in terms of like what your next step once you take that, like what your greatest joy is going to be, because I don't always like to focus on what is blocking us. I do like to focus on what pathways we can open up to get to where we need to go. And we have the green man. This is the masculine side of nature. So this is again that protective, that forward moving, aggressive kind of energy, the energy of nature that sometimes can have more of that creative or destructive force. Destruction, I do feel like, is a little bit more connected to masculinity, because it is taking down concrete structures, and it is forming and solidifying like these form bases that are already there, that light energy, that structural code. So the green man here, I do feel like for you, this is being able to bring all of it together, because in this deck, the green man and the green woman, they're both in front of a cauldron. The green man is taking things that he knows, and I feel he's scrying into the cauldron. I feel that he is like having that concept of the future. And also I am being drawn to the symbol in the background. I don't know if you can see all that well, but it is some symbol of a giant in this deck, and it is related to the 5 of Wands, which in this deck says empowerment. And so I was thinking of that word was coming to mind, because I feel like the more that you get connected with how you want to see your future, so this is tapping into your third eye. You could also benefit from having some kind of like solar plexus mixed with third eye chakra Reiki healing as well. I do think that focusing on those 2 energy systems in your body is really going to help you be able to envision the future and see yourself doing what you love. That's the big goal here. I do want to get a little bit of confirmation on what this change will make your life look like once it happens. Yes, and we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is the bear in this deck. And I feel like the Queen of Pentacles in this deck is somebody really coming out of the shadows. They're coming out of the shadows of their life, and they're seeing that beautiful sunrise. They're seeing the dawning of a new day. They're seeing a new chapter of their life. They're also seeing that they have the abundance to head into this new chapter in life. So this is you really turning over a new leaf. You also being able to see that there are so many opportunities to you, because when I think of a bear, I also think of them hunting for salmon in a river. And in North America specifically, we have a lot of fish in the rivers, or we used to, at least before, you know, colonizing. But we had all of this abundance of food, all of this abundance of like things that created that prosperity, that sustained life. And I feel like you are really coming into a place of recognizing what sustains your life emotionally, spiritually, physically, all of those things, and being able to provide that for yourself as well. Because the Queen of Pentacles doesn't need anything from anyone. The Queen of Pentacles is that nurturing earth energy. She's the one who has everything that everyone needs. And I do feel like that's why you want to go into this endeavor. You want to head into this project because you know it's going to provide something to somebody that fulfills them in the way that this business is going to fulfill you. And I think that this is something that is really magical about the journey that you want to head on, is you're realizing, okay, if I do this, I'm not only doing this for myself, I'm not only doing this for my own well-being and my own like beautiful spiritual life that I want to live, I'm also doing it for other people, and I'm going to provide them with the resources. I do feel like that this is providing some kind of like actual tangible thing to somebody, like you're providing a good to somebody, and you recognize how those goods really influence our day-to-day life and bring that comfort into our reality. And I do feel that you are recognizing how you can provide that to somebody, and you want to be able to do that as well. That's really, really wonderful, pile one. So I believe that that is what I want to close it out with from your tarot cards, but I do want to get an oracle card from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck. We're again gonna shuffle on camera. This deck is a lot bigger and I have small hands, so it's a little difficult, but we're gonna try. I don't want to do a bridge on this. Okay, so let's see. What can pile one look forward to when they start investing in themselves, and how can they do that? Sacral chakra. I want to get one more. So okay, the sacral chakra is also about manifesting. I do think that that is kind of connected to that third eye energy that I was picking up on earlier, because your third eye is being able to envision and see different pathways and see different things manifesting for you, and like kind of the vision aspect of it. The sacral chakra, I feel, is where in our energy body we subconsciously, because it's one of the lower chakras, we subconsciously draw things into us. So I do feel like this is a certain how we create things, and also that may be creating different stock if you are making a product for somebody, kind of trying new things out, exercising that creative muscle. But how is this going to affect pile one? Okay, we have Cosmic Flower, and this is talking about home. This is talking about our relationship with our home life. I do think that this is emphasizing to you that you have everything that you need, but I want to continue to show you this card actually, but helping you see that the way that you treat yourself and the way that you treat your own body and your own relationship to the world at large is going to really influence the way that your business starts running. The better that you get in balance with your own like energy system, the better that your business is going to start running, especially since I feel that this is some kind of entrepreneurship for you. This is some kind of like kickstarting something and kind of doing it from the ground up. And I feel that this is going to be something that is going to be overlapping with what you already have going on. And so you're going to have to kind of make changes in your everyday, like personal life in order to get this going. So that's something to keep in mind, and recognize that like a flower, we bloom in certain seasons. So there are gonna be some seasons where, like a wintry season, where you're gonna have to, it's gonna feel like kind of drudging through, but there is always a spring that comes back from after the winter where you bloom and you blossom and everything beautiful happens for you. So I hope that this reading really resonated. I hope that this motivated you and helped you see where you're headed. And I was very honored and blessed. I want to thank your higher self, your guides, your angelic wisdom, and my higher guides as well for helping me facilitate this reading. Otherwise, I will see you in another video, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye. Howdy, pile two. If you selected pile two, or this little turquoise stone, then this is going to be your career and abundance reading. So the sun has moved and I'm a little bit bright in some places during this reading, but hopefully the sun won't become too much of a bother. But I wanted to get into just the cleansing part of this video. I decided instead of setting our intention and cleansing together at the beginning like I usually do, I wanted to cleanse specifically in each different pile today. So I did have incense burning, but it just burnt out. So we're going to burn this jasmine morning star. Yeah, it is, I think it's like Japanese style incense, but this is a morning star incense. And so we're going to light this together with the intention that it protects our space and draws in our guides of higher wisdom, compassion, truth, higher alignment, and that we receive the messages of abundance that we need to receive today. So now that we've set that, I wanted to pull, this little angel was calling to me for you guys. I do feel like you need some angelic guidance, you need some support. I was hearing as I was tapping into your energy system the question, are you bored yet? And I don't know exactly, I feel like there's a varying situation that each of you are going to be in that chooses this pile, but I do feel like there's something about your life that is just kind of like dragging your feet, and specifically in terms of your career. So I feel like there's something like, regardless of what job you're in, whether you own your own business or you are working for somebody else, there's something that feels inauthentic and untrue to your like true nature and your true self that is happening. And I do feel like there's a lot of stress that you're carrying within your body. I've already pulled 2 cards like I did in the meditation portion of this video, but I want to open these up to start our conversation and then pull some more from the Wildwood Tarot, which is what I pulled for this, and then from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck. So we'll get some more tarot and oracle cards for you. So getting into the cards, we have two of the court cards for the Cups suit. So we have the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups, and this is definitely like, I don't know if you can tell, but both of these animals in these cards are moving. They are in the process of continuing on, going into a different route in life. They are like the Queen of Cups here as the salmon. The salmon is jumping out of the stream. The salmon is experiencing life outside of water. It's the fish out of water. So I feel like, yeah, you guys are definitely feeling like a fish out of water in some aspect of your career life. You are feeling like there is, because salmon, they swim upstream. They're very strong. There is a very it's an overwhelming strength about you. I do feel like this card specifically is paralleling a strength card in traditional tarot for you, because I do feel like this is highlighting a time in your life where you do feel like you have to be very strong. You have to be this version of yourself where you are okay with not having exactly what you want to have ultimately. Like, your goals are not yet tangible to you yet. And I feel that this is more in terms of your emotional self, not exactly your career self, but I do think that your emotional self is affecting the way that you're interacting in a career space. So with the Knight of Vessels, the eel, I'm being drawn to the knife. There is like a sword on the rock right here. So I do feel like this is cutting things out of your life that are emotionally just not serving you, not engaging in certain things that you might have engaged in, like whether that be with coworkers or clients or just things that are happening in your life. You're deciding, okay, I don't really want to deal with this right now. I don't need this kind of stress. You're in a way maturing, and that's why I feel this Knight energy has come out for you. There's some amount of your emotional self that is growing and expanding, and you're seeing yourself as much more capable in an emotional sense. I do feel like in the past a lot of you could have seen yourselves as overly emotional. This also could be representing that you are a water sign as well, so you've struggled with your emotional self for a long time. And that's something that you are working on in this lifetime as well. And I think For a lot of you, your emotions also relate to your career somehow. So whether that be, I am seeing some of you as being artists, like making prints and stuff like that. Others of you are working more in a sense of like being a boss over people, and so your emotional well-being kind of affects the emotional landscape of the greater workplace that you're in. So if you are working from home, running your own business, your emotional self may be bleeding into the spaces where you need to work. And so if you're having a lot of emotional issues that are kind of lingering, like that emotional energy is lingering in your space when you're trying to work, it's going to be difficult for you to get like shift into a different mindset. Because if you're like doing work in your bedroom, for example, and I know a lot of us have to do stuff like that because we have we have limited space, you know. But if you're working in your bedroom and you're like having emotional conversations about like what's going on in your life, and then you're trying to wake up in the morning and do work in the exact same space, it's going to be the energy is just going to mix, and it's going to be really difficult for you to be able to get into that different headspace. I hope that makes sense and it wasn't too rambly. But I want to get a little bit more of a look at what exactly you can do to, because I'm assuming that you'd like to bring in more money to kind of help you and get you out of this funk, because I do feel like there's a certain amount of like that fish out of water energy that is like kind of creating stagnancy or creating an emotional stagnation for you. I want to do one more shuffle, just asking for your guides of higher wisdom, truth, and compassion to be able to let us know what's happening emotionally and how we can heal that to bring in abundance and prosperity. Okay. I hope that the dog barking in the background isn't bothering you guys too much. I can't really help what my neighbor's dogs are doing, but we make do with what happens. So, for pile 2, how can they heal their emotional self? Okay, and I'm not going to take reversals right now because I don't really feel like that's going to be needed. We have Judgment here, or the Great Bear, and I do believe that this is talking about a recent upheaval in your life. So something has significantly changed that has kind of brought you to your knees in a way. So this is gonna be different for a lot of you, but I feel like for some of you this is someone passing on in your life. This is some kind of rite of passage for others of you, in terms of like a spiritual ascension or some kind of really large change to your physical self. I'm getting the idea that this has been almost like a shadow work time in your life, or you're just recently coming out of a shadow work time in your life where you were losing people. So like people were falling out of your life, also where you just kind of felt disconnected from spirit. And so there may have been things that you did in your life that were just, looking back, you did them to cope like in the moment, and you don't think that you could have done anything better, but ideally that's not how you would have wanted to behave. That's not aligned with your true sense of yourself, and it's because you were trying to find yourself. So I do feel like there's a certain amount of yourself that you just found, and you've come into contact with a different aspect of your personality. And so trying to integrate this aspect of your personality now is a little bit of like a challenge to you, especially in the realm of like working with other people, trying to make money and bringing in that side of yourself. So I want to ask about how you can make more money. We have the Devil, or the Guardian. So again, there is something about this like rite of passage there, because look at both of these are guarding a passageway. And there's something in your life that I feel like it's unforeseen. This is almost like a test of yourself, a test of your character, and I think that's also why that fish out of water is kind of a standing out theme throughout this reading for you, is that there's something that is uncomfortable in your life that you're trying to struggle through. You're trying to figure out how to get through this, and this is somewhat like chaotic energy. I'm getting a lot of anxiety as I'm speaking about this, and I do feel like this is causing you a lot of stress. Like, there is something about this that is just deeply unsettling for you. I do feel like this is triggering your root chakra, or excuse me, I don't know if I want to use triggering as a descriptor for that, but it is lighting that aspect of you up, and it is emphasizing that there is some work that could be done there. I do believe that this is emphasizing your relationship to money and what you accept from other people. So if you're working a job that you just really hate, if you're working in a setting or an environment that just people say things, they do things, the business, like if you're working for somebody else, the company, the way that they interact with others is really just misaligned with you and your moral values, your inner truth, and you're feeling a disconnect there. This is where that dissonance is coming in. And so you're like, okay, well, I want out of this situation, but I don't know if I have a lot of other options. I don't know if I'm willing to sacrifice this. I don't know if I'm willing to look for a new job, apply to other jobs, possibly start your own type of business, rely fully. I feel some of you are hesitating on being able to rely fully on yourself or rely on other people to help provide that abundance to you. I'm thinking specifically some of you have partners that could provide for you financially, but you're worried about that burden. I feel like initiating a conversation like that, if that is something that you are looking into, would be helpful. But there is something that is just kind of tying you back. There are beliefs and thought patterns and ways of protecting yourself that you have established, especially when you're younger. I feel like a lot of you are older, and so you've been working for a while, but those belief systems that you kind of built up when you were younger about the way that your prosperity comes, the way that you can earn money in this realm, it's being challenged right now because you're having to come to terms with, oh, I don't believe that I'm worth more. Like, if your job is underpaying you, you're maybe not charging enough for your services. If you run your own business, there's something that's being kind of, you're selling yourself short. You're not enabling yourself to receive the abundance, to receive the prosperity that you deserve, because there are things that you feel you aren't allowing yourself to deserve yet. I want to pull some cards from the oracle cards. I do feel like you're somewhat tired, and I do think that resting would be really, really beneficial for you. Oh, and this left a card behind, so I kind of, and it's allowance. So this card is talking about accepting whatever comes our way, accepting the hardships as well as the pleasurable experiences, and viewing the universe as a partner in our dance with life, our dance with our material existence. And a lot of us, money enabled us to have that material existence and to manifest the life that we want. A lot of times money is the energy that we use to manifest the vacations, the trips, the lifestyle that we really desire. And I think your commitment to your lifestyle, your dedication to how you want your life to manifest, is going to create this space that draws things in more for you. And I think that emotional self of yours is what is preventing that from happening. And again, like I said before, root chakra just came out for you. And this is again talking about, I want to read actually what it says. It says, the frequency of the root chakra, the red flower of life, stimulates passion and supports our sense of security on this physical plane, both in our bodies as well as in the physical world. There may be something about your physical body that is preventing you from taking the steps and taking the actions that you want, or like your health or something. I am picking up on possibly that your health is somewhat scary for you at this time, or it's keeping you from doing what you want. And I think that there are ways around it. It just may take some brainstorming. It may take that rest time. I do think that meditating or having that rest period in your life is going to enable you to have a clearer thought pattern and thought process, because you have to release the emotions that have built up in order to be able to move forward. That is all I am getting for you, Pile 2. I want to thank your higher guides of ultimate truth, alignment, compassion, wisdom, all of that. And I want to thank my higher guides for helping me to facilitate this reading to you. I will include all of my personal information if you want to reach out and book a reading or anything in the description as usual. Otherwise, I thank you for joining me today, and I will see you in another video. Bye! Howdy, Pile 3. If you selected Pile 3, this is going to be your energetic, career abundance reading, just letting you kind of know a little bit of what you're manifesting, a little bit of what's already going on in your energy systems in terms of your career and your abundance overall. So there's a little finch that's not very happy with me filming at this moment, so if you hear a bird that's kind of being loud in the background, that's why. So you selected the gold obsidian, and this stone specifically relates to our relationship with power, our relationship with authority as well, the way that authority figures in our life use their power, use their ability to exercise that control over us, control dynamics as well. I feel like a lot of you may be possibly a government official of some sort, or you work on a larger scale in a really big company of some kind. There are big power dynamics that happen in terms of your career life, and you may not fully be in control of those power dynamics. So I feel like there's a little bit of helplessness, or there's some kind of I don't really have that much direction or that much power over where I'm headed in my career life. I feel for a lot of you that is why you've ended up on this reading today. You're just wondering about your possibilities, your capability to be able to make that name for yourself, or figure out how your life purpose kind of bleeds into your career, and what that looks like for you. I feel like some of you are a little bit worried about your career abundance, or you may, I don't know, have some kind of fear-based energy around your money and the way that you get money right now. So I want to look into the cards, and both of them are reversed, which is interesting. And there's also a lot of fire happening in these cards, even though they aren't. Okay, you got the 5 of Pentacles and the 6 of Pentacles, so that's extremely interesting to me. And they're both reversed. So the Pentacles suit, the suit of Pentacles is the one where we kind of see it as a progression. It's almost like someone's farming. They are planting the seeds, they're seeing them grow, they're seeing things come to fruition, they're working on it, all that. And with the 5 and the 6, I do feel as though, because they're both reversed, it's kind of you taking a time out and being able to reflect on something that you've been doing for a long time. I feel like this is already, if you chose this pile, you have an established career. You have something that you've already been kind of invested in for a long time, and you've never really questioned it. I feel like it came really easily to you at the beginning. It was something that kind of just fell in your lap. You were not worried about it at all. It made a very strong and capable foundation for you. And as of recently, especially since the 6 of Pentacles in reverse says exploitation, I do really feel that you're seeing the effects of your actions on other people. I'm getting the sense that there is something morally that doesn't align in your career at the moment, and there is something that is making you have these questions. So this is really interesting to me too, because the 5 of Pentacles, it says endurance, and this is somebody stoking a fire, and they're by themselves. I think that this is like, it's a stormy night, obviously. This person is alone. They possibly have some fear, but they are kind of taking shelter and trusting that things are going to work out for them. And I feel like that is really a place where you are in your life. You could have, like I said, financial troubles. So if this was something that your job fell into your lap, you had a lot of stability and comfort from this, and then all of a sudden your quality of life, your ability to manifest in the real world because of this loss of money or financial struggle, hardship, has come upon you, you're really questioning your life purpose as well. I feel like this is causing a spiritual change for you. I do really think that this is tied into your spirituality, and this is something that kind of was meant to happen, almost like a Wheel of Fortune tower type moment, where you are kind of at the mercy of the divine. So the sun is kind of playing tricks on me. It wasn't here when I started filming, but we're gonna roll with it. And I want to shuffle for you guys so that we can get some guidance from our higher truth, higher wisdom, and angels of higher and greatest alignment to come in and help us see where we're headed. Okay, so let's pull a card. Now that we've assessed the situation, where is pile 3 headed in terms of their financial abundance? Okay, we have the Page of Wands in reverse. So a lot of blocked energy. This is a lot of paused. I feel like a lot of things are on pause for you so that you can kind of assess them and evaluate them in your own headspace and understand what this is making you think, what this is making you feel, and kind of where you want to go from here. So I feel like a lot of this is your choice, which I know that's kind of a scary thing to be given. When things are up to us to decide, it can place a lot of weight on our shoulders, and I do feel, since a lot of other people have been making choices for you for a long time in your career, it's difficult for you to be able to take that control and know that you are capable of having it. I feel like this is you becoming aware of your own ability to make decisions and make effective decisions as well, and trusting your own inner guidance to be able to make choices. So let's look into what spiritual practice you can go into. Okay, we have again, another reversed card. So this one's the Two of Cups in reverse, which is attraction. That's what it says, so I'll show you. And I feel like this is more talking about where you're investing your like creation based energy. So a lot of times when we're manifesting things, we manifest what we ultimately want in terms of our emotional selves, and I do think that it's like our emotional self really does want that like romantic connection, wants romance, wants love specifically. And I'm seeing this Two of Cups as you maybe not connecting with the divine, not connecting with your higher guidance as much as you could, and that is what is kind of it's creating this that helplessness that I was mentioning. It's creating that sense of being alone, especially since we have the Five of Pentacles here, which traditionally talks about isolation, feeling left out in the cold. And so in order to not feel so alone, not feel so like down and out and like you have to do all of this by yourself, I think this Spirit's asking you, like your spiritual guidance, your angels, whoever you feel drawn to communicate with on the spirit side of reality, they're telling you that they're there for you and that they're only a call away. Like if you really need something, if you really need clarity on something, like just ask out into the abyss or write it down, journal as well. Something like that can really help you feel like you're having a conversation and that you'll receive guidance back. Something that if you don't even know how your guides are going to communicate with you, they're going to make something very clear. Either it's going to be said through another person and you'll have a physical response, Like for me, a lot of times it's in my ear pops, so that's a confirmation that I know that my guidance is kind of coming in and trying to communicate with me. Or you like get chills, or you'll have like it's almost like you start meditating on something that someone's saying. You just notice that your breath is really present. You feel very in tune to the conversation, something like that. So they're going to deliver a message to you somehow, and you'll know, and it'll resonate in your situation in particular, and answer the question that you asked. So ask a question and you will receive the answer. So I want to look into what you can look forward to once you kind of sort out what you want to do, and maybe like some next steps. So we have the Death card again in reverse, so it's still this kind of reversed, like almost stagnated energy. But I think that this is here to remind us that the journey is not over yet. The journey is honestly the joy. It's the joy is in the journey. You know, you are going to find the purpose. You're going to find the meaning in everything from allowing things to unfold one at a time. And I feel that your joy, being the Death card in reverse, is that you have the opportunity to not be stuck somewhere. You have the opportunity to let things go, to allow these things to fall out of your life, and that things don't have to be permanent, that you're not stuck anywhere, and that you have the choice. It is really embracing that choice, the ability to choose, and allowing things to transform. As I was saying this, there was a butterfly that just flew past, and butterflies always remind me of transformation, and always remind me of being able to have a transformation that is completely based on something that happens within the self. So it's not reliant on anything else. It is something that you go within and figure out. And so you have the ability to be able to make that transformative choice in your life and see how things are meant to unfold for you. And there is beauty in death. There is beauty in letting things die and letting things kind of walk away from us or not align with us anymore, recognizing that they don't align anymore. So let's get an oracle card for you to close this out, and to just give you a little bit more of an uplifting message to end this on, so that you can make empowered choices and know that you're gonna be provided for and taken care of. I think it just is a matter of personally getting in touch with your higher guidance and your wisdom that you carry with you. So one more shuffle, then I'm going to cut the deck. First, let's ask a question. So what can pile 3 look forward to when they start making more empowered choices for themselves? And the card that was underneath was Tantric Journey. So that is our physical journey and integrating the physical with the spiritual. So I do think that it is important for you to deepen your spiritual practice and understand how your spirituality affects your physical world. But we got Coherence, which is again another kind of integration card. It is seeing how many different layers and aspects of our lives all go together and come from our heart. I do feel like there is something in your heart that is pulling you. There's something in your heart that is leading you in the direction that you're headed, and it is scary to follow our heart. It's scary to throw everything into the fire of love, almost like seeing our own heart truth as a bonfire that is burning, and we throw everything in it and hope that it will burn into something beautiful and send our intentions up and manifest the way that we need. But there is this this darkness that surrounds, that we've got to sometimes travel through to really get to the place that we need to go. And I do see abundance coming your way. I do see abundance in your life and your ability to manifest what you need. You just have to believe in the ability of the divine to bring everything that you want to you. And so yeah, it says I just wanted to read this for some reason, but it says the frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality we desire. This is the connection of the heart and the mind, connection of your logical, rational thinking side in with your feelings and in with your passions and the way that you want to follow your dreams. So that is all I'm getting for you, pile 3. I hope that this resonated, and I hope that this brought you some clarity and empowered you to go after what you want. So I want to thank your higher guides, your higher self, and your wisdom and compassion that came through to facilitate this reading. I want to thank my higher guidance, wisdom, truth, all of that helped facilitate this. Otherwise, my personal information is going to be in the description as usual, and I will see you in another video.